The SandMan, released in 2022 on Netflix. This will make you think twice about going to sleep.
Are you giving me nightmares now? Tell me!
I suppose you'd like your prison now.
I am not a possession to be kept. I am a goddess, a daughter of Zeus. I call to you, Oneros, that you may hear me.
Morpheus. You're writing him a letter.
Something like that.
He must be punished.
What's happened to your hand?
The god of dreams can't save you.
I am here.
And who are you?
Some of you have traveled far to hear my message today, and I hope you will all share my dreams.
Each of the streaming networks, just like the studios that produce the films and TV shows we watch, has a particular feel and production value that becomes associated with it. Such has been the case with Netflix. The SandMan is the exception to what has always been the Netflix rule. This series seems to belong on HBO Max or Disney Plus. Instead, it landed here. I like it, and in time, I think you will too. This is truly what dreams are made of: terror, delight, characters galore, and everything you wish for and more. The producer-creators Neil Gaiman, David Goyer, and Alan Heinberg carry the viewer through the expected fantasy terror phase as we orient ourselves to this alternate reality within an alternative reality. The diverse array of characters and actors are introduced to the viewer with ease, and the writing doesn't strain itself in giving backstories for them. Tom Sturridge carries the lead with ease and wields the power of his character as a good veteran actor should. Supporting cast members Patton Oswalt, Vivian Achiapong, Vanessa Samurai, and a host of others fill in the gaps with ease and terror when needed. And then there is the animated episode, a bonus episode that really wasn't needed. This series is not for everyone, but everyone should catch an episode or two. It's worth your time. The SandMan, released in 2022 on Netflix, 8 of 10 stars. Justice Served, released in 2022 on Netflix, an African attempt to glorify anarchy.
I am Azania Makoma, commander of the Numore. We live in the shadows, but today we come into the light.
We're ready.
Your justice belongs to the privileged elite, but we're going to change that. And you will see who he truly is.
I was ordered to do it.
You are the one who killed him! You will choose freedom or death.
I'm innocent! I'm innocent! I'm a hero!
Justice Served is another view of South African history then and now with a study of characters with no redeeming qualities. Director Joshua Mahervey, Raleigh Nikiwe, and Zwelethu Radauve, and writer Stephen Pilleber and Shep Tai Skosana used the backdrop of a courtroom takeover by a band of freedom fighters who used the killing of a black man by a white off-duty cop on a cold and rainy night as their excuse to set the world right, to their way of thinking. As the cop is on trial for the killing, and just as the black female judge is about to announce the sentence, all hell breaks loose. The cops, black, white, and Middle Eastern, are all corrupt and cynical about their role in this society and role of citizens who seek to protest against them. Young people hold marches, rallies, and have fun as they seek to support the courthouse takeover and end up as many of the characters in this flick, dead and scarred for life. This 6-episode tale of 5 hours could have been told in 2 with an ending where no one wins except who? The acting by Lee's Mupi Mothebeli as Jacob, Alex McGregor, Matshabe Tialele as the judge, and others is commendable. The cinematography is first class, along with the editing, but the story is not for children and will not be appealing to most Western audiences. If not for Netflix, Justice Served would never have been seen outside of Africa and some European and Western movie reviewers like me. That being said, take a look at a different world view and imagine if this were to happen in America. Justice Served, released in 2022 on Netflix, 7 of 10 stars. GoodFellas, released in 1990. A classic look back in time at a classic for some people.
Your friends, and always keep your mouth shut.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Hey, Mom, what do you think?
You look like a gangster.
I had no idea.
By the time I grew up, there was $30 billion a year in cargo moving through Idlewild Airport. Believe me, we tried to steal every bit of it.
What do you do?
I'm a construction.
He's not Jewish.
For most of the guys, killings got to be accepted.
Hey, Henry, here's an arm. Very funny, guys. Here's a leg. Here's a wing. What do you like, the leg or the wing?
For us to live any other way was nuts. And we were treated like movie stars with muscle. We had it all just for the asking.
It's gonna be a good summer.
This Martin Scorsese classic was one of many that laid out what real gangsters could and would do and get away with if there were enough cops on the take and neighborhoods to capture and politicians on the take. Getting arrested was the cost of doing business, and going to prison was an inconvenient rite of passage. GoodFellas is the portrait of a time, the 60s, 70s, and 80s, when niggas was used with abandon in the script. But no African Americans were shown on the screen except in the background or on the street. Oh yeah, there is the black male ticket taker halfway through with 6 words in the script. And believe it or not, a super skinny Samuel L. Jackson gets a shot at Stax Edwards with a tiny credit that was obviously the beginning of his gangster credits. His character has maybe 20 words in the entire movie before he is shot in the head. Women were true second-class citizens, exemplified by Debbie Mazar, whose only purpose was to serve their husbands, keep the children, and tolerate the girlfriends. Those who did survive to old age and lived well. Those who didn't could find themselves in instant poverty or death. All the stars are here. De Niro, Ray Liotta, Joe Pesci, Paul Sorvino, a young Michael Imperioli, and a host of character actors with gangster faces and Irish, Italian, Brooklyn accents. By the way, no Jews allowed in this bunch. Cocaine and booze aplenty, hijacked trucks, cash, more cash, and plenty of justifiable killing and maiming based on gangster standards. There are no redeeming or redeemable characters in this flick. It's an interesting look into a regional lifestyle that few of us knew about, cared about, or even wanted anything to do with. Looking at Fellas through 2022 eyes gives one a good reflection on what the folks who live this life and are still alive today must think about the interracial, intrasexual marriages and gangster leadership depicted in today's filmland and in real life. Barack who? Kamala who? Puffy what? Snoop Dogg? GoodFellas, released in 1990. 8 of 10 stars. A look back in time at what many call a classic for some people.